Welcome to this mysterious train ride. Today, you'll meet Count Andrei, his wife, Russian Princess Ray, her maid of 17 in total. Poirot doesn't care. After breakfast, Poirot thought it was a good idea to visit the bar alone for a drink, only to be ambushed by Tycoon Ratchet, who suddenly showered him with cash. Ratchet, the wealthy boss, offered him a security job, suspecting a plot against him. Poirot wasn't interested. Poirot waved him off, and Ratchet stomped away in anger. Fast forward to nightfall, the train made an unexpected. Mitchell suddenly told Poirot had arranged a cabin next to Ratchet's. At night, a scream woke Poirot. He nearly fell off the bed. The voice seemed to come from Ratchet's room, so Poirot tiptoed out to investigate. Subtitles. It turned out that Mitchell was asking Ratchet what had happened. Hence, Poirot decided to continue with his nap. But his peace didn't last long, as another loud noise woke him again. Turns out the train had crashed into something. Cue the plot twist. He saw Mitchell talking to someone and inquired what happened. Mitchell said it was the paranoid Mrs. Hubert. She felt like she was being followed. After a night of chaos, the train was still stuck the next day. All passengers were stranded in the middle of nowhere, when suddenly there was a frantic knock on Poirot's door. It was seeing Booker rush in like a headless chicken. Poirot knew something big had happened. Sure enough, after some investigating, he discovered Ratchet was murdered. To find out why Ratchet was a goner, Poirot called in the doc. The doc checked and proclaimed Ratchet was stabbed 15 times, just like a horror movie. The doctor said it happened 7 minutes, 8 hours ago, around midnight. The door was locked. The killer fled through the window. But Poirot thought this kind of complex matter should be left to the police. But Coco piped up. If we don't find the killer before the cops arrive, we're all toast. So she pleaded for Poirot's help. Eventually, Poirot thought, what the heck, let's clean up this mess. Little did he know, the truth would leave him with his jaw on the floor. Poirot quickly dismissed the doc's theory since the train had stopped by 2 a.m. and there were no footprints in the snow. So, this meant the killer must still be on the train, likely hiding among them. Poirot ordered Mitchell to notify everyone because he was ready to grill all the passengers. Meanwhile, Poirot found a pocket watch on Ratchet that was smashed by the killer, showing 12:40, matching the doc's estimated time of death. But hold on, the doc said 15 stab wounds, while Poirot only counted 12. Something was fishy. It looked like the killer had to be at least 2 people. Why was the doc hiding the wound count? Did Ratchet's death involve him too? Turns out the truth wasn't so simple. Then Poirot spotted a burnt piece of paper in the ashtray. He instantly guessed that the paper must hold an important clue, which is why the killer burned it. To confirm his hunch, Poirot used some special methods to restore part of the paper, but alas, the clue wasn't much help. In this situation, Poirot had to dig for new leads among the passengers. He first questioned Mitchell. Subtitles. He wondered what happened last night. Before Mitchell spoke, a customer interrupted. Mitchell's the most diligent, a real workaholic. Passengers seemed worried Poirot might see Mitchell as a suspect. Little did they know Poirot only believed in evidence. Poirot asked Mitchell how his wife died, and Mitchell replied that she couldn't cope with their daughter's death and tragically took her own life. Poor Mitchell's story tugged at Poirot's heartstrings, so he didn't press further and just asked what happened last night. According to Mitchell, last night at the station stop, he got off for rest, but cold drove him back quickly. Besides him, Major Snort and Mike also got off but returned quickly to talk about a chilly welcome. They were chatting in their cabin until 2 a.m., so clearly they had zero opportunity to commit murder. Then around 2:30, Mrs. Hubert confronted Mitchell, saying a strange man had entered her room. Poirot himself once got startled and saw a woman in a red nightgown heading toward the bathroom. He just saw her back. Mitchell also said he saw it, but only a back, unaware of her cabin. However, Mitchell noted that after the lady went to the bathroom, she apparently disappeared for good. What was going on? Was she the killer? Poirot found himself deep in thought. After finishing his preliminary inquiries, Poirot told Mitchell he could leave. But then Mitchell suddenly mentioned she was going to meet a friend, and this was the only train that could take her there, so Poirot didn't think too much of it. Poirot then summoned Ratchet's bodyguard to ask if he liked his employer, but shockingly, the guard said Ratchet was just a wealthy loser. The guard said he just worked for money, caring little if his boss survived. He's been in the cabin since last night. Next on Poirot's list was Ratchet's translator, Mike, who said he worked for Ratchet simply because he needed the cash. When he first met Ratchet, he had the opportunity to be his translator, and it's led him to this moment. Poirot asked Mike about Ratchet's address in the States. Mike shook his head, clueless, but sensed Ratchet had secrets. Over the years, Ratchet lived like he was on the run and had received many threatening letters, which Mike had kept safe. For whom, the magic of the world, but they had released him, sending him to the money on the ship. They lowered the body of his father. How much was that money? In the house, it was about $2 million. After hearing the $200 Mike story, Poirot realized Ratchet was just a facade.